You've woken up, you're looking in your wardrobe and you already know that the clothes that you want to wear, your favourite clothes, are not going to fit. You also know that you need to lose between 30 and 40 pounds, maybe 50 pounds, but you've tried so many things before, you're starting to think to yourself, what is the point? So you end up wearing whatever feels the most comfortable and does the best job at covering up and hiding those areas that you're not particularly happy with. If you've been thinking this way, then just go ahead and comment below. Now, I want you to stop and think to yourself, if nothing else changes, there's a good chance you'll be having this same conversation with yourself in 6 months from now, possibly even this time next year. You'll be standing in front of your wardrobe and trying to decide to yourself, what can I wear that doesn't make me feel too self-conscious about myself? And perhaps the biggest thing is you just don't feel like yourself because it's rarely just about the extra weight you're carrying. It's often about how that extra weight actually makes you feel on a daily basis, which often isn't that positive. And just in case you haven't met before, my name is Eric Simpson. I'm a former Army physical training instructor turned weight loss coach. And over the last 15 years, I've helped dozens of women over the age of 40 lose 30, 50, even 80 pounds plus. And what I've noticed is this: the women who achieve the best results aren't necessarily the most motivated, disciplined, and don't necessarily have the most willpower either. What I tend to find is, and what they tend to do differently is, they stop focusing entirely on the end goal and instead focus on doing simple activities on a daily basis, things that they can stick with. And that's what I'd like to share with you in this video today. Now, you might be thinking, I already know I need to eat better. I already know I need to be, more active. And you're right, most women I speak to already know these things. In fact, you've probably tried cutting out carbs, you've probably tried, eating, more protein, and you've probably tried to make, quite a few attempts to be a lot more active, and maybe going for walks or taking the stairs instead of the lift, or simply just trying to move just a little bit more throughout the course of the day. And it all makes complete, success why you've tried those things, because on the surface, it seems as though they should really work. But the problem is this: most women are still trying to do these things while still focusing on losing that big amount of weight, the 50 pounds, as quickly as possible. So they end up putting themselves under enormous pressure, trying to be perfect, not allowing for the inevitable off day or week or even weeks, because life has a way of showing up with all of its challenges that can derail you. And then they end up feeling as though, I failed again because life's taken over. And the problem is that they were just simply trying to do too much all at once. And if you're a perfectionist type of personality, that can feel like that's what you have to do, and you really don't. So what's the answer, Eric? I hear you saying. Well, the answer isn't to try harder, and it isn't about the latest, diet or fat loss jab. It's about changing what you're focusing on. Instead of waking up every morning and thinking, how do I lose 50 pounds? Start asking yourself, what can I do today that will actually help me to feel better, just a little bit better, more in control emotionally, more energized, a little bit more positive about myself. Because when you start to feel better, you tend to make better decisions. You tend to, eat a bit better, move a little bit better, maybe even sleep a bit better. And those small decisions have a habit of taking care of weight loss. So instead of trying to lose 50 pounds, let's focus on helping you feel better more often than not. So what I would suggest you do today is choose just one thing that helps you to feel more in control. That might be a 20-minute walk, it might be preparing a healthy meal, it might be writing down 3 things that you want to achieve tomorrow. The actual activity isn't that important, or that's not the important part. The important part is that by the end of the day, you want to be able to say to yourself, I feel a little bit more in control than I did this morning or I did yesterday. That's it. Not about losing 50 pounds, not about perfection, not about trying to be in total control, just a bit more in control. And you should do this within the next 24 hours. And finally, I'd make sure I have some sort of accountability as well, because, that could be a friend, it could be a coach, because look, trying to do this thing on your own is often harder than what people think. And if you'd like some help, a little kickstart with this, click the link below, take my free online weight loss assessment. Takes about 2 to 3 minutes, provides a personalized report to help kickstart your weight loss. It also provides us healthy eating plans that are all calculated in terms of proteins, fats and carbs. Now, you might be thinking, can something this simple really make a difference? And is it actually worth doing? Well, let me ask you this. What is the alternative? Another year of standing in front of that same wardrobe and wondering, can I wear something that I want to wear? Your favorite clothes, always being the one behind the camera, which I'm sure it's not where you want to be. And your health even more compromised than what it possibly is now. Compare that to a 20-minute healthy or 20-minute walk, a healthy eating plan, or just spending a few minutes each day just planning what's going to happen the next day. I don't think that's a huge price to pay. And here's what I see happen time and time again. Women start with just one small step. That small step helps them feel a little bit more in control. They feel like, I'm more in control, I can make better decisions. Those decisions often lead to better results. And before they know it, they've lost 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds or more. Just like a client of mine, Marie, when we first started working together, her focus was on losing 30 pounds. We shifted that to her simply focusing on taking one small step every day. And those small steps actually went on to help her completely transform the way she looked, felt and moved, and she ended up losing 57 pounds. So if you remember nothing else from this video, please remember this. Stop focusing on losing the big amount of weight, the 30, the 40, the 50 pounds plus, and start focusing on doing one thing each day that helps you feel a little bit more in control. Because when you start to feel more in control, you tend to make better decisions, and those decisions, those better decisions, often end up becoming the habit that is going to help you to be able to lose the weight you want to lose. And if you'd like some help with this, again, don't forget you can click the link below this video, take my free online weight loss assessment, take about 2 to 3 minutes, and you get back a full-blown report plus some healthy eating plans as well.